Hello. This is a bit odd, but I'm doing this quick little video clip at the start of the video, but in fact this is the end of the video. Sounds a bit bizarre, but there you go. Basically, it just occurred to me that when I started filming earlier on, I forgot to really explain what today was about. So, very quickly, it is about a little bit about the Royal Enfield, a little bit about a nice walk I've just done here, and a little bit about adventuring and mental health. Nothing too deep, don't get too scared, just a few random thoughts really. So yeah, so that's all this was to do, a quick introduction to say what it was about, even though it's the end of the video, if that makes any sense. Hello and good morning. I'm off and about again on the little Royal Enfield. It's actually my last day in Scotland, sadly. Nature, what the hell am I talking about? Not nature. Circumstance. I don't know how I got the word nature and circumstance mixed up, but there you go. Circumstance dictates I need to go home tomorrow. Back to reality, if you like. You know, back to work. But I've had a fantastic 8 or 9 days in Scotland. It's been absolutely brilliant. And as for the weather, again, sort of late March now. Yeah, it's been a little bit cold here and there. A couple of spots of rain. But on the whole, the weather since I've been here has been absolutely fantastic. My mate has a theory actually on Scotland and Scottish weather, that the Scots often exaggerate how bad the weather is to keep the bloody English out. I don't know how true that is, but in the rough plan today, I'm heading over to somewhere called the Wangi Hills. I think it's called the Wangi Hills. It's a little place. It might be Wangi actually. I know it sounds a bit like wanky. I was looking for somewhere to go today, and that's probably childishly why it appealed to me. Looked a bit like wanky. Anyway, enough of my childishness. So anyway, yeah, it's good. I think it's the Kilpatrick Hills, which is somewhere sort of in the middle between Glasgow and Dryman, and it's meant to be this outstandingly nice, sort of an unusual rocky outcrop. So I tend to go up there, do a couple of hours walking. I've been eating so much crap since I've been up here. Some of the Scottish delicacies that I've probably put on a pound or two, or 3 or 4. I'm not going to bang on too much about the Meteor today, because I've just put out a video, all things Meteor 350, so I'll be largely repeating myself, to be honest. But just a quick, literally 2-minute summary of the week on this bike, and it's been fantastic. It really has. Happy as a pig in shit riding this thing about. Yeah, like I said in the other video, it hadn't been started for several months. Started first time. I've done a good few 100 miles this week. Not quite sure how much I've done. It's probably north of 600 miles though. And I've been out, you know, most days or some days You know, I've been in the saddle for hours on end. It's been super comfortable. Yeah, I couldn't sing the Meteor's praises enough, to be honest. But anyway, I say the best way to get from Devon to Scotland is just to fly. So what I usually do is take my Suzuki V-Strom to Bristol Airport, which is about an hour and a half rather, mainly motorway. Leave it at the airport, and it's actually free parking for motorbikes there. Got to say, it's the only decent thing about an airport. I bloody hate airports. It's just a rip-off from the moment you enter to the moment you leave. I mean, I'm going to sound like a moaning old git, but when I come up, I had a couple of hours to wait before my flight, so I decided to buy myself a coffee from, I don't know, bloody Starbucks or wherever it was. £5 and 5 pence to charge me for a scabby cup of cold latte. It's just rip you off at every opportunity. It just pisses me off, to be honest. And when my mate comes up, he picks me up from Glasgow Airport. I mean, literally, he pulls in, picks me up, and the charge, it's about £7 or £8 for like 5 minutes. Anyway, it's I'm going on some rant, and I don't mean to. When I get some positivity, last day I intend to enjoy it. Just getting back to the motorbike, one thing I did notice, I think I've been sort of lulled into a false sense of I don't know if security is the right word, but because the weather, as I said, has been really nice up here, say mid to late March. And I noticed the other day I'd done several rides out on my motorbike, and I just had to pull over somewhere and glance at the bike, and it was in a bit of a mess in terms of dirty, but that's to be expected or some of the terrain I've been on, like, you know, riding through woods and, you know, little back roads and little semi-off-road things. But I noticed the chain was, you know, quite thick rust, and I'm a little bit, I wouldn't say anal about cleaning my bike, but you know, I like to look after it. And yeah, there was a lot of, you know, potential corrosion. It looked like, you know, the rusty chain, the sprocket was sort of splattered white, and obviously it's the salt, which is getting all over the bike. And I didn't kind of think the salt would still be on the road, but bloody idiot. I mean, it's Scotland. It gets, even now, it's, you know, it's in the minuses some nights, so they are still salting the roads, and I never really give it much thought, but made a right mess of the bike. Felt quite ashamed to the state it was in, to be honest. So I got back last night from my ride out and just give it a bit of a hose down, cold water, and give the chain a bit of a cleaning on oil. But yeah, I'll give it a good a thorough clean today when I get back to base. Try to get every grain of salt off it, and should be fine for a few months. Yeah, I was quite taken aback, the amount of corrosion and stuff. It's in such a short period of time that the salt had done to the bike. Yeah, but you live and learn. That's my new rule now. Every ride gets sprayed down with cold water. well. Really confidence inspiring. I mean, I'm not pelting along at insane speeds, but sort of 65 mile an hour tops. Right, I have arrived. Right, as if by magic, I am all changed into my walking gear. Bike's sort of packed up in a strange sort of way. Like I say, I need to find a better solution. I've just kind of got to strap through here and with a little lock on, it'll be fine. I've paid for me parking, which I massively resent. Yes, so this is called the Whangie. W-H-A-N-G-I-E. And I found it on, I use this app, All Trails. Fantastic like navigation app for walks and bike rides and stuff. Yeah, it's probably a, I don't know, 2.5 hour walk, something like that. And I just love combining this sort of stuff, you know, a lovely motorbike ride with a walk. Sit at the top of the hill, enjoy the views and reflect on life. Yeah, just starting my little ascent here. And the views are rather nice, it's got to be said. The mountains in the distance there. Yeah, I reckon today is going to be another good day. At least I hope it is. I'm such a clumsy git. I'm stumbling about here like a buffoon. I see myself going down on my horse at some point. I think today's video about two things really. About your mental health and adventuring. And what do I mean by that? Well, where do I start really? I remember last year, 18 months ago, I come back from a holiday somewhere, La Palma in the Canary Islands, that was it. And anyway, I've been there for a couple of weeks. It's one of the first times I've been on one of these holidays, you know, you book into a hotel and it's like all you can eat. Anyway, the upshot of it was I gormandised myself when I was away. I mean, nothing really wrong with that. People do that on holiday. But I remember when I got back, I'd piled the weight on. I went there fat anyway, but I just come back even fatter. And I weighed myself and I don't know, I think it was about 15.5 stones. The biggest I've ever been in my life. So massively overweight and felt like total shit, to be honest. You know, my self-worth, my mental health, everything was at an all-time low, you know. It was just, even to a point where I was getting quite unhealthy thoughts about myself, about, you know, what's the point of it all, really? So it wasn't just like physically I was a mess, mentally I was. And I think, you know, use the term mental health seems to be the current buzzword, but it's a bit like semantics to me, you know, your mental health, your self-worth, your well-being, your mood. It's all pretty similar stuff. But anyway, upshot was I felt pretty crap, and I knew, you know, how to do something about this one way or the other. Yeah, there was a place I didn't want to continue in, really. So I just needed to kick up the arse, kick myself up the arse to do something about it, because nobody else is going to do it for you. And the other subject I was going to quickly talk about was, you know, the term adventuring or an adventure. Again, you know, what is an adventure? Very personalised thing. You know, an adventure, a day out, a trip out. Again, it's semantics. It's the same sort of thing. But what I've learned through, well, firstly, to have an adventure, what I've kind of learned through experience, you don't necessarily have to go for miles and miles to the furthest corners of the earth to have a good quality adventure. You generally don't. I mean, today, it took me, just over an hour to get here, and delighted I have. I mean, I've kind of got the place pretty much to myself. Not a soul anywhere. So I've got the solitude I was looking for. Sad old git on. But yeah, I just don't think, you know, talk about an adventure somewhere. It's not like a frivolous activity. I just think it's, all right, well, I know it is. Certainly in my experience, it's almost an essential part of your being. I think we live in a world now whereby everything's so synthetic and false in a way. I mean, we all live in our comfort zones. You know, most of us have got a house with electric and gas and heating and televisions and fridges and freezers, blah, blah, blah. We've all got them conveniences, hot showers, etc. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I just think sometimes it leaves us, or makes us more detached from nature, from experiences that will enhance your life, really. Yeah, I'm not bothered. Hello, mate. He's all right. Hello. What? Happy dogs?
Aye. Months.
How much?
16 months.
So they are. What? You muddy thing. Have a good day, mate. My day just got even a little bit better. Bit of doggy time. I love dogs. Often think the world would be a better place with more dogs and less people. But that's just me. I just find combining, I guess, my two passions in life, or two of my passions in life, which is motorbikes and walking. Just a combination of them two things have massively helped and improved, not just physically. I mean, I have lost a lot of weight since I come back from that holiday when I was 15.5 stone. I'm still a bit of a fat git, but I'm getting there. But it's more the mental side of things with me now, and how vastly improved things have become. Don't get us wrong, it might not work for everybody. I don't want to be flippant about, you know, your mental health and depression and stuff like that. I just think it's easy to label things. It's my belief through life experience, I guess, that it's kind of a normal human condition to, you know, have your ups and downs, your good days, your bad days. And I'm certainly not trying to belittle, you know, mental health problems, bipolar, that type of thing. I'm certainly not an authority on it, and I don't intend to profess I am. But it's just my little penneth, really, what's helped me. And it's, you know, it's not easy. I mean, today's not easy. I suppose over the months I've had to build up a certain level of fitness to be able to get out and do sort of longish walks like this. And it's not easy, you know. I mean, I was out a couple of days ago with my friend doing a couple of the Munros in Scotland near Fort William, and it was an incredibly difficult day. I mean, I was utterly exhausted. But my point is, the end result, when we were on top of the mountain, snow covered, I mean, you know, it was a good few inches of snow. The landscape, the scenery was exceptional. I guess this is the Wangji. I'm trying not to say wanky. The Wangji rock formation. I kind of read about. Just going to check on my map. Yeah, up here. Yeah, quite an impressive bit of rock. Wow. Yeah, this is lovely. Well worth the effort. Yeah, this is pretty damn steep. A little bit tricky, but doable. Just doing my best not to fall on my arse now, which happens all too frequently. Wow. Oh yeah, this is something else. Yeah, so glad I found this place. Yeah, just looking at the All Trails map and just thinking to myself, you know, there's no real excuse not to get out and do stuff. I mean, I'm no expert at navigation, but any old fool could download something like All Trails or OS Maps or something, download the map, and the world's your oyster. It really is. It just gives you the confidence to go out and do stuff like this. I think there's a lot of criticism about how some technologies have impacted our lives negatively. I don't know, just random stuff off the top of my head, like apps like TikTok and stuff. Nothing wrong with them in moderation, I guess, but it's just it's easy just to end up wasting your life looking at rubbish online, sitting watching rubbish television and not experiencing stuff like this. And I was there, you know, I spent so many years sitting in pubs, getting drunk, talking utter crap, smoking me cigarettes, and that was my life. I didn't even know stuff like this existed. I mean, the views are just exceptional. I think that's Loch Lomond over there. I could be wrong. Doesn't matter. Whatever it is nice. So yeah, and I'm not particularly well off. I mean, like I said earlier, I've got me Royal Enfield up here. That cost me around £3,000 for a brand new bike. And that's all I need. That's all I need. And I'm so happy with that bike, as I've said. Happy as a pig in shit. Today, what's it cost me? Flask of coffee, £4 for the parking, which I massively object to, but will not go there. And that's it. Bit of time and effort. And I'm rewarded with views like this. Just magnificent. I did plan to get the drone out, but it's too windy. The bloody thing will blow away. Not a worry, always next time. Oh. Assuming, yeah. Oh. Well, bugger me. I've just fell in there. The state of me. Jesus Christ. Oh well. Oh God. Well, I did say at the beginning of the video I would end up falling flat on my arse, and I have. I mean, I'm just sitting up here on the top of this hill, just sort of contemplating things really. I guess in short, I just think modern life, you know, for many of us, it's probably become a little bit restrictive, to be honest. We've all become, I don't know, kind of victims of convenience, I guess. I know I become, you know, quite bored, and I think a lot of us have become, you know, a bit adverse and disconnected to the natural world, really. I just think the absence of, you know, adventures and getting out your comfort zone it's just not good. It's just not good for your mental or physical well-being. Yeah, just, I don't know, just getting out and doing stuff like this just helps, well, certainly helps me to be, I don't know, make the best version of myself, I guess, without being too profound. Little aeroplane in the distance there. I guess that's going to Glasgow Airport. I'll be on one of them back to Devon tomorrow. I guess if you're a bit of a thief and you want a Christmas tree, this is the place to come. I'm joking, of course. Just seen a little sign on the fence here, the John Muir Way. There you go, that's where I am. Didn't realise that, but I know now. Got the local llamas there. I don't think they're going to come and see me. Cute little things though. I think the llamas, there might be alpacas. Don't know the bloody difference, to be honest. Talk about how the other half live. That house is quite magnificent. Magnificent price as well, I bet. Like I alluded to earlier, I mean, today, for example, to get here, to start my walk, it was probably just over an hour and 5 minutes, hour and 10 minutes, 30 odd mile. So, not that far from where I'm staying in Scotland. And the walk today, I don't know, 2.5 hours, about 6 mile or thereabouts. But as I said earlier, my point is, you don't need to go that far to get massive benefits. Have your little adventure. And it's all about memories. I mean, to me, life's about building memories rather than building wealth and materialistic type of things. I mean, today will probably stay with me, excuse me, yeah, forever really. It's been such an enjoyable experience. And I just think that's what life's about. New experiences, new memories, and lots of positivity. But what do I know? All I know today has made me feel pretty damn good. That's surely not such a bad thing. Another thing that's just sort of occurred to me, you know, these little days out, bike rides, walking, stuff like that. I've always been a really bad sleeper, probably borderline insomniac really. But I've found in recent weeks and months, the more I do this type of thing, I'm definitely sleeping a lot better than I ever have. Which in turn, I'm getting up in the morning feeling a lot more revitalised and even more keen to do stuff. And today, I mean, it's not a hell of a long walk, but I still feel, I don't know, describe it as pleasantly knackered. I'm looking forward to find a little cafe somewhere, sit down, cup of tea, sandwich, something like that. Reflect on the day. But like I say, it's tired in a good way. And the more I do it, the more I want to do more and more of it. Anyway, I'm probably babbling on too much as it is anyway. Probably going to call it a day now in terms of videoing and stuff. So I hope this has been of some use to somebody. Wasn't sort of planned, or it's just me rambling a few random thoughts really. But if you like the video, maybe give us a like or something. Would be nice. And yeah, till the next time, I'll see you later.